Hi, welcome to 2020 Tasty Treats with GourmetQuilter. We're doing a hugely fun series of applique on sewing room items. So you can see up behind me here, we've done quite a lot already. We're up to number 13, so there's 20 in the series. So we're well and truly over halfway now. We're doing, this is a picture of all the ones that we're doing. So we've come along here and we're going to do an iron and ironing board this time. So there is a pattern through GourmetQuilter.com for the 2020 Tasty Treats. There's lots of different series there. This is the sewing room series. The pattern comes each day. We're doing a block each day of the 20 for 20 days. And so we're up to day 13. So it's a downloadable pattern, and then there's a video each day as well. So I've gone ahead here. So in the pattern, there's all the shapes ready for tracing, and there's some numbers on them, and it often indicates the sort of layer that, or the order that they're placed in. Sometimes you've got to come back and put something, untuck something underneath. So I've already done the two legs. They've got little feet on them, and this is the sort of side of the ironing board, which looks a little strange at the moment, but will look a whole lot better very shortly. So this comes on here. It's just because it adds a little bit of sort of dimension when you see another colour, as if it's around the side of the ironing board. And then we've got an iron sitting on top, so we've got the little sole plate and the iron here, so we might actually put this little bit onto the plate first so that it's sitting together, and then we can peel the paper off the little plate. And then we've got this little knob, but we can pop that in afterwards. So we're going to position this on the ironing board. And then we've got a cord, because irons have cords in most cases. Some irons don't, mine does. And this cord is coming off the edge, so it's kind of going into the seam allowance there. And then there's a little knob here. Most irons have a dial somewhere. This one has a little dial in the, just inside here. So if you can just tuck that just ever so slightly underneath there, I think that is looking pretty much like an iron and ironing board that you might see possibly in a sewing room. So I'm going to iron all those in place, and I'm going to free motion stitch. I've got my machine set up for free motion. I've dropped my feed teeth, got a little open toe free motion foot on. Because I'm free motioning, I need to use a stabilizer, so I'm using this light cotton batting just to stabilize my stitching as I do it. Just iron it so that it sits nicely together, it isn't fusible. And now I can go to the machine and I can start stitching. Oh, I do like my iron, so it's a good thing we've got an ironing board in this sewing machine. So I think we'll start by doing, what should we start with? Maybe the iron. So I might come in here with the cord, so I might start out here in the edge. And then I can just skip onto this iron. And you could put more details and things in if you wanted to. I think that just outlines, keeping it fairly simple is quite appealing. Up on the sole plate there, and then come back onto the iron here. Now this little piece at the top here is kind of like a little nozzle, so I'm just going to go past it, because it's where you might spray. Some irons have a little spray function. And we are going to have to come around and do the inside of the iron separately. So we'll come out here and finish off. And we might do that inside now whilst we're doing fiddly things. So I'm going to start actually and do the little bit of board and then go on to this sort of knob type green dial. I guess it's a dial, not a knob. Because I can come back over that if I need to. I do. And then I can come onto the yellow and go around the inside of the handle of the iron. already have an iron. We now just need a board. So there's a couple of bits here of the corner because of the cord that we need to get done. So we might do those next, because they'll have to be done separately because we can't go past that cord. Cords are a bit like that, and often just stop you from doing other things. And we can come back up there. So that's all looking pretty good. I think we can come around and do the iron now. We can come all the way around, sorry, the ironing board. So I'm just going to start, no, am I going to start here? I am. And come all the way along. And we'll complete the board along here, and then we have to come back and do that little front edge and the legs as well. So we'll finish off there, and then I've still got to come and do this little front edge and those legs, but we might find that we can do a fair bit of that at the same time. So I'm going to start here. And I think this leg is sitting behind the front one. So I think what I'm going to do is come down that leg and just come along there and come back up the leg again, because we want it to look like it's sitting behind. And then keep coming along here. Now this time I can come down and do the whole of this leg. And I think we'll come back and do the other part of the other leg as a separate thing. So put a little cover piece on the end here. And then we can come all the way back up. And back onto this last bit of the surround of the ironing board. So now we've just got to do the last piece of this leg down here and the little foot. The other thing while I'm here is there is actually going to be some sort of a little screw there, so I'm just going to do a little circle while I'm there. And I think we have an ironing board in our sewing room. We'll just cut our thread off and we'll give the iron a quick iron. And I think that's looking pretty good. We'll pop it up in our sewing room. It certainly helps when you're sewing to have an iron and an ironing board of some sort. I actually iron on top of my freezer when I'm not at this table, but an ironing board is really useful. So that was applique number 13 in the series of 20. So I will see you again with applique in the sewing room number 14.